Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I wanted to do a quick little morning with me now that we are in the house. We got in the day before Christmas or 2 days before Christmas. So stinking excited. And we have really spent a lot of time settling in and making this our home. And it's really starting to feel that way. Okay. You may notice my belly is quite a bit bigger than my last video. I think I'm 35 weeks and some change, something like that. But we are in month 8 and very excited to get little man out so we can snuggle him and just really enjoy life with him. So I start my morning with feeding the dogs, letting the dogs out, and making Robbie's lunch, which I personally really enjoy making Robbie's lunch. He's a diesel mechanic. He works really, really hard all day, and it's nice to know that he has lunch and he can like sit down and settle with his lunch, and he doesn't have to worry about that during his day. And plus, it just gets my day started, and I enjoy it, okay? I enjoy it. Anyways, he comes out, and he says hi to the dogs. The dogs get very, very happy when he wakes up, even though I'm the one that feeds them, and, spends all day with them, but it's fine. And then Bonnie has what we like to call her little episodes. She just is very excited to be awake in the morning. I make coffee while Robbie fiddles with one of the Christmas gifts in the background. I don't know what he was doing. And then I start on our breakfasts. Today we had blueberry bagels with some mandarin slices. Very, very yummy. I also had a hard-boiled egg to get that protein in. I've been having a really hard time keeping my protein levels up, so I like to eat a hard-boiled egg every once in a while and get that back up. And then we send Robbie on his way to work, but not without saying goodbye to his cat. I love how this cat has totally become like his little best friend, and he was totally the dad that did not want a cat to begin with, but that's changed completely. I have my breakfast and my coffee before starting on a couple morning chores. I like to wait to go down to the barn until the sun has really come up and warm things up a little bit, because honestly at this point in the morning the hoses are still frozen, the horses are still frozen, and I try not to pull blankets until it's warm enough and like the horses can feel the sun on their backs. Look how cute that stinking hat is. I can't. Oh my goodness. Anyways, but also it's just unpleasantly cold in the mornings. So I just get a couple of house chores done so that way when I do get back up to the house, everything feels a little bit cleaner, and like we don't like doing chores at night because like we're both exhausted by the end of the day, so it's just a lot easier and more refreshing for me to do it in the morning. And then by that time, it's time for me to put barn clothes on instead of pajamas, so I make that switch. Oh my god, I look so huge in that. And make sure to fill my water cup for the day. I've been trying to drink more water, just as a general rule of thumb, but also for baby purposes. And then it's time to put the dog collars on. I always try to take the dog collars off when they're in the house resting or whatever, because they do play pretty rough. I don't want anybody to get their jaws stuck or anything like that. But then when they're outside, they have orange collars because it is hunting season and they do run about. I get down to the barn and start on the feeding process. The trickiest part currently is our water heater outside the barn. Like we have one of those little portable water heaters that we just attach to the barn. It broke yet again for like the 10th time. Super annoying. So I've been using this tea kettle and it works, and I just soak up the alfalfa in warm water. It's just not super efficient because like one tea kettle's worth fills one bucket, and it takes a really long time to heat up. But if you don't have hot water in your barn, it is a good option. It works. It does the job. It's just kind of annoying. Once that gets all soaked and cools down a little bit, because sometimes I accidentally let it get a little bit too hot. I let it cool down, and I spread it between all of the horses' grain. I feed everybody their grain, and then it's time to pull blankets because it's going to be 50-something today and sunny, and I know all the horses are going to be like laying out flat, sunbathing, and they're all going to look like sardines, and I'm so excited. But I love pulling blankets, and I love letting them feel the sun because they're just so happy. And while Upper Barn finished their meals, it wasn't enough time for me to go and feed everybody else and then come back and let them out. They'd be locked in for much longer. So I just decided to do some chores, clean up a little bit, sweep out the aisle. We've been having some crazy wind the past couple of days, so everything gets blown into the aisle. And the leaf blower was not charged. That was totally my fault. But anyways, they finish up their meals and then they get to go back out, and then they get all their water and they go sunbathe and they go eat their hay and be happy little ponies before I head down to Lower Barn. Come on, Lips. Throw hay first to keep everyone quietly munching. There's like literally one or two horses that don't have access to a 24/7 round bale, so it's not much hay throwing. But then I feed Tide and Coco on the driveway side, and then I go over here down through the gate and go down to Lower Barn. Now, these guys have a round bale out there, but I throw them each a flake of alfalfa before giving them their breakfast because they are all very opinionated geldings and will get very antsy and upset if they're not the first ones to eat. So it just kind of helps them keep quiet and separated and calm and help me get in between them to put their feeders on. I guess Duncan wanted to show you his booty butt there. But while they finish up their grain, they also have soaked alfalfa in there, so they take a little bit longer. And I go and feed Lower Barn. That was what I'd call middle pasture, but this is technically Lower Barn, which is 4 horses. And they get their over fence feeders with all of their specific needs, and then I go around back and lock them up. They're pretty good about going in and staying in until they get locked up, so I'm not really worried about that. And I pull blankets, lock them up, and wait for everyone to finish eating, pretty much. I feed Middle Barn last for 2 reasons. Number one, they just got their hay thrown to them, so they're happily munching. But also, I let Phoebe, the mini, free range around all of the barns. She is locked in like a big, pasture gate, whatever you want to call it. But she will bully everybody off of their feeds just by looking at them through the window. So she comes out last to free range and run around and be chaotic. And then I go around pulling everyone's feeders and turning everybody out, whatever those needs may be. Yeah, done now. There you go. Good boy. There you go, sweet boy. Oh, I thought you were done. You're done. Okay, go eat your alfalfa. This is the gate that Phoebe is contained in, but then we play Bonnie's favorite game called The Gate is Evil and We Should Attack It. I don't know why she started doing this, but she's always done this. She just bites the gate once it's closed. I don't know. Just healer things. But then I go and I park the cart back in the barn. I really need to clean it out, but that is just not in the cards today. But I park it back in the barn to keep it out of the way. It's in the feed area. And also, I keep it in there when it rains so it doesn't get wet, and I don't sit on a wet seat. But obviously, it's not going to rain today, but we're still going to park it in here. I really haven't been doing a lot in the mornings when it comes to working the horses because, like, I don't know, it's just so peaceful in the mornings with the sun coming out and it's warming up and everything's so nice and everyone's enjoying their breakfast and the horses always seem so sleepy, so I kind of just let them enjoy their mornings and then I'll come back down in the afternoon to work horses. But for now, I bring the dogs back inside, we walk back up to the house, and we get some more house things done that we need to get done before it's time to take Bonnie to the vet.